Wow, perhaps on one of the most important shopping days of the year, Instacart had a massive problem, an app outage. I'm not joking. On December 24th, Christmas Eve, one of the busiest shopping days of the entire year, Instacart was hit with a massive system-wide outage.
WTF is going on? Shopper has been shopping for my 7-item order for the last 3 hours. Support is radio silent. Been on hold for a half hour and nothing. What is happening?
This outage impacted Instacart full-service shoppers, Instacart customers, and apparently Instacart's internal systems as well. This could be described only in one way: a complete and utter disaster. This left Instacart customers feeling like they were abandoned, having planned to have an easy and quick way to get their items delivered to the door on one of the most important days of the year that you're spending with family. And perhaps worse, it left Instacart shoppers who dedicate their time, energy, and effort to the platform literally stuck on the platform, unable to take action. How did this happen? What is the impact going to be? And what does this mean for Instacart as a whole? Let's dive in a little bit to this major disaster that happened on Christmas Eve. Santa delivered a disaster to Instacart. A lot of Instacart shoppers know that Christmas Eve is one of the busiest and best days of the year to shop. This is for a lot of reasons. Number one, people leave last minute gifts. They're preparing amazing feasts for their family and they forgot the oregano. Or they just need a quick way to get some groceries delivered to their house so they can focus on other things. Instacart has been in existence for a very long time, and they know that Christmas Eve is one of their busiest days. How did this happen? Well, sometime around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Instacart shoppers across the country began to report a massive system outage. Customers on the platform also began to report the same thing, but Instacart was very quiet about this with no official public statement, even on its social media channels. For shoppers, this meant that they were stuck in the app. I actually experienced this today and it was a complete nightmare. We had shoppers with hundreds of dollars of someone's Christmas Eve groceries in their car, unable to advance their order further. So imagine you've checked out $200 worth of Christmas Eve groceries. You go to use the app and you cannot find the customer address, let alone communicate with the customer, and support is almost non-existent because they're so busy. It's not their fault.
I'm sitting in the car with customers' groceries. No one at customer service is picking up. I have no way of getting the customer's address or a way to message them the app is down. What are we supposed to do here?
What an amazing disaster to have happen to Instacart shoppers today. But worse, the families impacted by this across the country. How did this happen? Well, there are a lot of theories circulating on the internet right now, but Instacart has unfortunately not told us exactly what happened. But really, when you look at a platform the size of Instacart, it can really be only three things. So let's dive into it. Number one, we know that Instacart uses AWS and a mixture of cloud platforms to manage its massive workload. But the reality is that all comes down to the package you purchase. Is it possible that Instacart didn't buy enough capacity to handle this massive amount of Christmas Eve traffic? Well, it's not just about that. It's about how did they plan? How did the operations team at Instacart plan for this? Did they forecast a certain amount of volume? Did they take, for example, its unprecedented and very big Thanksgiving traffic to understand that they were going to be very busy this year? And let's be clear, they were very busy this year. Did they buy enough of their cloud computing? Did they buy enough infrastructure to be able to handle this? And did they stress test the code to see if when millions of people tried to log on, they could actually log on? Instacart hasn't said anything, but that's theory number one. Theory number two, perhaps more alarming. Was Instacart hacked? Well, unfortunately, what's that called now?
Cybersecurity?
Yeah, there we go. Unfortunately, cybersecurity is a major threat to companies like Instacart and indeed hundreds, if not thousands, of companies across the planet. We're seeing that it is easier now than ever for cybersecurity incidents to cause massive customer disruption. And you have personally seen this in your life. I know that you've gotten an email before where your personal information was compromised because of a cybersecurity hack. Is it possible that someone or some organization was able to compromise Instacart in a way that crippled their information? There's a number of reasons that this could happen. Number one, some people just want to be jerks and have fun. Number two, sometimes there are financial motivations to be able to do this. Extortion. Hackers sometimes try to get companies to pay large ransoms in order to free up this information. Or perhaps it's a foreign or state actor trying to cause significant harm to the economy. Think about this. Instacart, one of the main drivers of the economy, on December 24th, people going on the app to purchase groceries, last minute gifts, that sort of thing. If you can cause that to slow down, that's going to create significant problems. We don't know because Instacart hasn't told us, but we do know that number two, cybersecurity could be a reason that this happened. Then there's number three, perhaps the most embarrassing. When CloudStrike experienced a massive disruption as a result of faulty code being pushed out, internet rumors were abound that it was caused by an intern who pushed that code without the correct permission, maybe even on the wrong time. Well, we now know that's probably not the case, but what we do know is that CloudStrike and services like AWS and platforms like Instacart need to constantly stress test their code, their deployment systems, their operation systems, and their user interfaces. And whether it was cybersecurity, or whether it was a bandwidth issue, or whether it was a user interface and app backend issue, clearly there was a massive nationwide systemic failure that had a massive impact. And we're talking millions of dollars. Think about yourself as one of Instacart partners. Instacart's partners cannot be pleased with this, and it's got to have consequences. I think we'll see some of that in the end. But what is a little bit shocking is to hear how Instacart has not really said anything about this at all. But there have been people who have said some things about this. And I want to share some of that feedback. From the Reddit forum Instacart shoppers, one of the most striking things to me today was actually a customer who found time to go on Reddit as a customer and express their feedback to the literally hundreds of thousands of Instacart shoppers. Here's what they said. I'm so sorry this happened to all you shoppers today. You are so appreciated by so many of us people who can't get to the store for whatever reason. Happy holidays. Now, some Instacart shoppers elaborated on this and listened to some of these stories. Here's a comment from Reddit. I feel so bad for my customers today. The last batch won't get their order at all because I couldn't proceed through the checkout and I couldn't cancel the batch. My messages to the customer weren't going through, and I got one from them saying not to rush, but to give an ETA to them. I couldn't even reply, and support was just unavailable, so I could only turn off my phone and go home. Wow, imagine how that feels as a customer, spending hundreds of dollars on groceries and you can't get a hold of anyone and you don't know what the outcome is. That's a disaster. Someone else said, same. They finally canceled it 4 hours later. I let everyone know in the brief moment that I could write them. Here's some more feedback across the group. Sorry this happened to all of our wonderful customers today, like yourself as well. Happiest of holidays. Wow, it's clearly had an impact. But let's think about this from the shopper perspective. A lot of Instacart shoppers depend on this income for money to pay bills, to support their families. This had a massive disruption. People were expecting to have huge days today. For example, just in Las Vegas, if the platform had been operational, I easily could have made over $350 today. I made $50 on Instacart today doing 4 orders and 2 batches. And the main reason for that was simple. The batches were not appearing. And when they did, they were slow, freezing, and unable to access the information. I was on my second order of my first batch and the app completely froze. I didn't know where to go. Didn't know how to bring these groceries to this person. And I was stuck sitting scrolling on the map thinking, well, maybe I can kind of zoom in here and see how to get there. That's no way to operate. But let's hear some more feedback from some shoppers. So, Instacart has released some information apparently, and here's some more commentary from Reddit. Due to the nationwide outage today, customers who had to cancel or whose orders were unable to be delivered will receive a credit in their email off future orders. Shoppers who are stuck out in the trenches today, unable to get answers, move forward, or do anything really to the outages, will get absolutely nothing. No compensation, no bumps, no batch, not even a blank lump of coal. They will apologize to their customers for the error today, but shoppers will receive absolutely nothing in return for our time, efforts, and time wasted in a situation that was completely out of our control. So, I think that reflects a lot of what happened today. You had a lot of shoppers who were really trying to do their best, excited to have a great day. You had a lot of customers who thought, how great, I can stay at home, spend time with my family, get some things delivered from me, stay at home with my family, get some things delivered to me. I don't have to worry about going out in the stores on this crazy day. Instacart shoppers are some of the best. They brave that brutal traffic. They brave the stores being so busy to bring you the items that you need. And unfortunately, literally thousands of Instacart shoppers were left stuck in parking lots or stuck with cars full of groceries while customers suffered on the back end. There needs to be some accountability for this. Chime in with your thoughts below. What do you think happened with Instacart today? The great Instacart Christmas Eve crash of 2024. Do you think Instacart will share some information? What do you think the next steps are going to be? How can Instacart get better in this way? And how did it impact you personally? Were you a shopper? Were you a customer? Do you work for Instacart and you secretly want to tell us what happened? All of that is very useful information that we want to know. So please chime in below for the comments. But the last piece I will close is this. When you look at feedback from Instacart shoppers today, you will see that is very clear. Instacart shoppers really got left out hanging today, and they feel very, very unappreciated. So please help us share this video so that we can honestly go a little bit viral and let Instacart know that it needs to take better care of its shoppers in situations like this, because none of those people did anything wrong. What a frustrating experience for everyone to have today. What a horrifying experience. And I'm sure that we will learn something from this at the end. But right now, today, not even Santa could deliver a lump of coal if he tried to use Instacart.